So we've got an entire year, 12 months to go with Tesla. This stock could double.
When you start thinking about the full self-driving initiatives and you start thinking about how that plays into the cybercab business over time, that's really a huge value driver for the stock.
All that and more. So let's get to it. Tesla stock is down in the pre-market, almost 2%, currently sitting at $403.30. Now I know there's talk of Nvidia and Toyota partnering to bring the world autonomous driving. I suppose it's possible that Nvidia and Toyota can leapfrog Waymo, leapfrog Tesla. I'll be curious to see whether or not this combination decides to use a vision-only approach like Tesla or rely heavily on crutches like LiDAR and radar. So much speculation, but something tells me they're going to realize, much like Apple's endeavor for an autonomous vehicle, the juice may not be worth the squeeze, because this won't be as easy as Tesla makes it look.
You've got Tesla in your sights on the Bullish side. Now, look, you have either very strong proponents or strong critics when it comes to Tesla. And some of that also depends, it seems, on how you view the company. If you view it as more than just an EV company, as an AI company, as Elon Musk is pushing for, if you view the future of the company as more important than, say, the today, like the deliveries, what is behind your bullish view on Tesla?
Well, remember back again, even before the election, which a lot of things rallied after the election, even before that, Tesla finally had a monster lift, which it's been waiting for quite some time. So Tesla was one of those stocks that was in a downtrend for a while, even though we were in a very bullish market. And then all of a sudden it flipped. Now, what the reasons for that? We can debate.
Well, it's probably because people still think this is a car company focused heavily on deliveries and the margins. Forget the fact that these cars are driving themselves or robots are serving drinks to individuals. This is a car company, people.
But the fact is, it did flip, and it had a monster move, which you cannot ignore, to the upside, starting in November, which carried through till the end of 2024. And in fact, I think the stock would have gone to 500 if the market had not had a sell-off at the end of 2024. We got really close to that number, so close, and I think the stock is going to hit that number. Now, whether or not it hits that number before Tesla has earnings or not, I don't know. You're right that people either hate Musk or love Musk or whatever the case may be, but the stock is in an uptrend, very, very strong, has had massive momentum in just the last 2 months, has had a bigger move than the overall market. And actually, that is one of my top launches for 2025. A lot of people think it's extended. I don't think it's extended at all. In fact, I think this is a new move, a bigger move that's started already for Tesla. So when I look at Tesla today, yes, it was up today, it gapped up today, and it's fallen a little bit this morning, but I think that the stock is just resting today and could have a bigger move in 2025 than it had in 2024. Because remember, the move in 2024 started at the very tail end of 2024. So we've got an entire year, 12 months to go with Tesla. This stock could double.
I'm curious, Steve, we've had some of your colleagues on the street come on, and they're very bullish on Tesla. And part of their thesis, Steve, is that, in their words, Musk bet on Trump, and he bet right. And this is now going to mean good things for Tesla. It's going to mean, hey, Trump's going to speed up. He's going to accelerate autonomous driving. Is that part of your thesis, Steve? And if so, what specifically, in terms of regulatory policy, do you think would be impacted?
Yeah, so I think to start, and we get the question a lot about Tesla, like, is it more than a car company? And I think the short answer is yes, right? If you're buying a stock simply because they're selling EVs, the stock's overvalued.
I can't believe we're still having this conversation right now. Yes, Tesla is an EV auto manufacturer, the best there is, in fact. But if that's all you're focused on, you're missing so much. The ecosystem that Tesla is developing, yeah, it's on pace to put Apple's ecosystem to shame.
When you start thinking about the full self-driving initiatives and you start thinking about how that plays into the cybercab business over time, that's really a huge value driver for the stock in the medium to long term. And that's kind of how we think about the valuation, is sort of discounting back, the potential from those businesses. When we think about the regulatory environment, right now we have, sort of supervised self-driving. If you ever tried it on a Tesla, you basically, if you take your hands off the wheel, the car basically yells at you, right?
Maybe in the early versions of version 12. We're on 13 now, buddy. Even the Bullish analysts are working with outdated information. He obviously wasn't one of the few invited to the Austin factory to give version 13 a try. By the time some of these analysts get a chance to catch up, Tesla will be on to bigger and better things.
And getting to that sort of unsupervised level of self-driving, which is really the catalyst to get to these other product lines, it's going to take some time, right? And I think right now you're really focused on California as one of the main markets. Elon Musk has talked about having some sort of fully self-driving vehicles in Texas during 2025. So it's really niche from a market perspective now.
Given the regulatory hurdles that California is prone to have, the great state of Texas is more than likely going to see greater expansion at an accelerated pace. As long as the software is safe, efficient, and effective, it won't be long before the rest of the country, or the world, starts to see.
What is the risk inherent with that? In other words, obviously Musk would like to, have actual full self-driving on the road as soon as possible. Is there a risk that with the regulatory forces aligned in his favor, that it gets to market before it's actually ready?
What are we talking about here? This software still has a supervisor in it. That's how committed to safety Elon and Tesla are when it comes to this software, because we know any setback might have us going the route of cruise. You best believe that when Tesla finally does release an unsupervised version of this product, it'll leave no doubt of its capabilities and gain the trust of the community faster than anyone can anticipate.
If there's an auto accident on my way home today and there's an accident on the side of the road, nobody hears about it, right? If it's an accident with a full self-driving Tesla, you can bet it's basically on every news source across the country saying, a self-driving Tesla got in an accident. So the reaction to a problem is going to be obviously exacerbated. I do think you're right, though. I think you have to be a little bit careful about getting, the capabilities to the point where they're at least as safe, if not probably safer than humans driving the car before you get it to roll out aggressively. I think that will honestly be part of the regulatory environment as it unfolds. The other part of this is the Tesla AI-based, camera-based, AI-based system for FSD the answer. There's certainly experts out there who think you need some type of LiDAR as part of the process, like a Waymo has.
LiDAR is lame.
We think the AI camera-based system does work, but that's the other debate here, and probably the other risk, sort of the Tesla story, is their FSD system ultimately going to be successful? And we think it will be, but that is a point of sort of risk to keep in mind.
In conclusion, I suppose NVIDIA's getting in bed with Toyota to enter the autonomous vehicle space. And to that I say, more power to them. I mean, it sounds good. The people selling the shovels, mining for gold as well. It obviously couldn't hurt if you partner with the world's leading auto manufacturer when it comes to volume. But if you've used Tesla's FSD and watched it progress over the past few years, you know that this will not be easy. Even for a company the likes of NVIDIA, I'll be curious to see over the next few years how much time, energy, and resources NVIDIA plans to invest in solving this problem. But as of right now, Tesla is the only auto manufacturer that allows my car to drive from point A to point B, from point B to point C, anywhere I want to go, whether it be inner city or the rural outskirts of town. Now that very well could change. I don't expect them to be the only game in town forever, but I do expect them to be the best game in town. And for that, I know TSLA is seriously undervalued. My strategy hasn't changed, ladies and gents. I will continue to accumulate shares on red days until this company becomes the most valuable company in the world in about a decade's time. That's all I've got for you today. Be easy. Peace.